Hey guys, today I'm out in Sonoma County with the newest and arguably the most capable member of the Hyundai XRT family. It is the all-new 2026 Hyundai Palisade. Now, if you want to know everything about the Palisade, be sure and check out our full first look video on the channel. Let's just talk about what's different about the XRT trim. We have functional recovery hooks here in orange. Definitely important if you plan on going a little further off the beaten path. There is available aftermarket underbody protection. This model has the skid plates you see right under there. Those are not going to be installed from the factory, but they are going to be available from the dealer. We then get a different kind of look for the front. Instead of the sort of Gillette multi-blade look, we have a bit of a blockier kind of look there, but we still have these really huge DRLs on the side. Those are also the biggest turn signals I think I've seen in a long time. We get unique wheels and tires, 235/60 R18s, and that's a Continental cross contact mild all-terrain tire. We get 8.4 inches of ground clearance, which is definitely pretty good given the size and the wheelbase stretch that we find for 2026. And importantly, and different than just about all the competition except for the Jeep, we get an electronic limited slip rear differential. Yep, they say this has a real e-LSD in the back, which definitely separates this from really everything, including the Subaru Ascent. Back here, we also have recovery hooks. I really appreciate the fact that we get some real recovery hooks in the front and in the rear, also different than something like the Pilot Trailsport. But the rest of the style, that's pretty similar to the rest of the lineup. We get XRT badging right there on the side sill, and the interior, that is very similar to the rest of the lineup as well. We get the imitation leather upholstery seats here, XRT badging, XRT pattern on the seats. This model has a very, very dark interior, which I think is a little bit at odds with the XRT theme, since this is really going to show dirt well. We don't have shiny black plastic, thankfully, on the dashboard. This is kind of a stripey kind of look, or more of a, I guess, imitation fake wood look, something along those lines. XRT badging in that big dash there with the two screens. The seats, those aren't quite as comfortable as the calligraphy, but this is really more the corollary of the limited trim, kind of, sort of, in the lineup. Under the hood, we have a new 3.5 liter V6. This engine replaces the outgoing 3.8 liter model with pretty similar horsepower figures, just under 290 horsepower, and we have an 8-speed automatic transmission. We don't know whether or not there's going to be an XRT hybrid, but I wouldn't bet on it. All right, let's see if I can hold the camera and get this out on the mild off-road course that Hyundai has set up here. While we're doing so, let's just take a quick look around maybe. Down here we have the power graph, so you can see exactly where the power is going, and then we have the drive and terrain selector over here in the dashboard. With the terrain selector in the terrain mode, we have three options: snow, mud, and sand. We were told that sand is basically the mode for most mild off-roading. So let's go ahead and give this a try. Hyundai's mechanical all-wheel drive system has always been relatively capable and pretty eager to lock up that clutch and send power to the rear. They've told us that this has a very similar design to the previous generation Palisade's all-wheel drive setup, so probably about the same amount of power can go to the back, but we have that E-limited slip differential. And that should definitely help us out when we get in off-camber situations like we're going to find on, again, a pretty mild trail out here. Versus the Santa Fe XRT, one big difference is the regular 8-speed automatic transmission, which is definitely smoother and probably a more appropriate choice for mild off-roading. Now on this uphill section here, the limited slip differential is definitely an advantage, and you're really going to notice the difference between this and something like a Subaru Ascent, or even some of the Subaru Wilderness models, which lack that particular kind of feature. But let's be realistic. The XRT trim is not going to turn this into a Grand Cherokee. That's not really its mission, of course. It's part styling package, but also the addition of that actual genuine capability that more and more customers seem to be demanding. And that's why we're seeing this kind of trim in the market. I think Honda has done really well with their Trailsport trims, and that's exactly what Hyundai is doing here with the XRT. But it's good to know that if you do want to take your XRT further off the beaten path, well, I mean, you can go further down that path than this than the vast majority of those mostly styling options that we see in the three-row segment. Hyundai gives the XRT an off-road page in the infotainment center. You can see what mode you're in, so 4-wheel drive 4 auto, terrain mode mud, oil pressure, battery voltage, tire pressure, kind of handy. We also get the steering angle right there, pitch roll, and some auxiliary gauges off to the side. If we slide things to the side, we get a second page where we get a 360-degree camera, and then of course our compass information. Be sure and sound off in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of the new Palisade XRT, and of course stay tuned because hopefully we'll have this at home so we can run it through a more rigorous off-road test than we've been able to out here and really put that limited slip differential in the back to the test, because that seems like a really cool and interesting feature and definitely something that separates this from a lot of the competition, including that Honda Pilot. Now the Honda Pilot does have that twin clutch unit in the back, but this does appear to be able to send more power left and right versus that system in the Honda Pilot, which is probably the closest corollary to this. That is a torque vectoring unit that can act like a limited slip. This does not have that same torque vectoring capability. It's more of a dedicated limited slip setup, actually kind of like what we find in the Jeep Grand Cherokee. For about $50,000 though, this is certainly a lot less expensive than the off-road capable versions of that 3-row Grand Cherokee L. Let me know what you think about that as well, and of course be sure and find the full video if you haven't already watched that one on the channel. Bye now.